Hey folks, Brendan here from Bluelight. Now, if you are a serving police officer and you've got a promotion board ahead of you, this video and podcast is for you. And if you're in the recruitment process, you will find it of interest because today I'm going to look at how you can get exceptional at your promotion board. So I've been doing this now for 26 years. I know a thing or two about promotion boards and specialist interviews for over 10 years now. I've been supporting people to succeed in the police recruitment process. You check the links below to those services that I provide, the one-to-ones, the webinars that happen every week, the online courses, and check out the Trustpilot reviews as well, something I'm really proud of. We are way up there in terms of 5 stars with amazing reviews that I'm so proud of. Thank you to everyone who's given me a Trustpilot review. I know you've taken time out of your life to do that. I really appreciate it. So, exceptional. Why do I use that word? Well, one of my fast track constable to inspector candidates has just had that description applied to them in their feedback following their board. Fast track constable to inspector, incredibly competitive. Their board was meant to be about an hour long. It ended up almost 2 hours long. Apparently it became like a real conversation. And the candidate was described as exceptional. So how did we get there? Well, we did one-to-one coaching. And the thing we're doing is we're making sure that we're not regurgitating the policies and documents of yesterday. Can I share with you, the policies and documents of yesterday are really today's fish and chip paper. If you feel you can go to a board for something like this, where they're looking for the leaders of tomorrow who are going to be able to help the service through very difficult times of change, through complexity, and you think you can deliver the policies and the practices of yesterday, or even today, to pass that board, then you're wrong. The way my clients succeed is by getting the board to be on the edge of their seats, to get them to be looking at you thinking, this is different. I've never heard of that before. I'd love to see it actually being implemented. We've got to promote this person. I know it sounds a bit corny, but that's what you've got to do. You have to get the board on the edge of their seat. If they're just listening to the same old answers that have been rolled out for the past decades, which is the starting point a lot of the time when I do my one-to-one coaching, then they're going to listen to you and think, that's yesterday. But what about tomorrow? What are you going to be able to bring to the service that's different? And so that's what we look at in our one-to-ones. That's what we look at in our webinars. Shall I give you some examples? Yeah, we've got loads of them, by the way. We bat these around in the webinars. It's not like me saying, you must do these things. No, they're highly collaborative. And we look at what might work, the art of the possible. And we think differently. We think in a maverick way, unconventionally, because that's what's going to get you exceptional. That will get you exceptional. My client really got into this because it's in their nature anyway. It's in their DNA to adopt these sort of methods. And what we're looking at is breaking down silos. What we're looking at is making sure that we don't look like we're stuck in stupid. What we're looking at is, right, we've done this so far this way over the past 2 decades and it's not working. So we've got to do something radically different. If we tinker around the edges, all we're going to get is a tinker around the edges result. And so one of the things we looked at with one of my clients just yesterday was recruitment and retention. And that's an answer to this question, which is often given to you as a, you've got 30 minutes to prepare and 15 minutes to deliver your answer. What are the challenges facing the police service? So what are the big challenges facing the police service and how can we meet them? Now, I think they give you vague questions like that so that you can put your interpretation on the answer as to what the biggest challenge is and how you specifically are going to meet those challenges. Now, it's a forward-facing question, so it requires a forward-facing approach. And the one we utilize is why, how, what. Why is this so important? Why is recruitment and retention so important? How am I going to actually deliver on this? We're not doing the shopping list. We're not doing the standard shopping list that so many of you introduce. We're not doing, I'm going to do this and I'll do this and I'll listen carefully and I'll do one-to-ones and I'll make sure my sergeants have got up-to-date PDRs. And no, I've heard it all before and it's all boring and it's not working. Because look, the people who are on the board, they know that PDR is just nonsense. They know that everyone writes out their own and you just sign it up. They know it only gets dusted off once a year. They know it never gets used. It's just got to be up to date for promotion purposes and specialist interviews. Look, they're looking for different, remember? And so we went for different. We started looking at recruitment and first of all, why it was such a big challenge. Oh, the model, by the way. Yeah, so why, how, what? How we just look at one or two specific things, really specific, things that you can introduce when you get those pips on your shoulders. Something that's different, something that's going to be changing the game, something that's unconventional, that's maverick, that's almost eccentric, where people will go, it's that simple? It could just work. Because we also look at simplicity, and going, what one of my clients said is, this is like going back to basics, except we never really had these basics, but it seems so basic, it seems so easy, why aren't we doing it? So I know, let me give you some examples. So first of all, how can we change the face of recruitment so that we can reflect the communities that we should be a part of, as opposed to apart from? And one of the game changers, and this isn't my idea, by the way, this is something I picked up from a force over in Canada. The Peel Regional Police, I've got a lot of time for them in terms of the journey they've been on, because their community looks and feels a little bit like London in terms of the diverse representation. 10 years ago, their force looked a little bit like how the Met looks now, as in nowhere near representative. Nowhere near representative. And so they changed the game. They changed the game. Now, if you look at the Peel Regional Police, they have over-representation. How do I know that? Well, I've spoken to some of their recruiting officers. I've spoken to one of their senior superintendents about some of the things that they did. So this is about borrowing good ideas from elsewhere, not from England and Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, because clearly it's not working. There's not one force in the United Kingdom that's representative or anywhere near representative of the communities that they're a part of. Some forces thought they might be, according to the 2011 census, but now we've had the 2021 census come in and have discovered that actually in 2022, they are nowhere near. They're chasing their tails and they're doing the same old stuff. They're having a board, a race action board. They've got a positive action team. They're doing ride-alongs. They're going into schools. Boring. It's the same stuff that's been rolled out year after year. And is it making a difference? No, it's not. And I've not seen one force that's actually delivered in the entirety the race action plan from the National Police Chiefs Council. And that's not the first time there's been an action plan rolled out. There's the Diversity, Equality and Inclusion Action Plan. So how's that going? I can tell you how it's going. It's in the round file. It's gathering dust on a shelf. Because I speak to the inspectors and the sergeants and the chief inspectors and the superintendents and ask them, so what's the reality? I get to hear the reality. There's a long way to go. Now, they couldn't wait that long in the Peel Regional Police, and they changed things in the space of a decade. And one of the ways they did that was to just ask this one question on promotion boards. What have you done personally? What have you personally done to enhance the representation in this force? What have you personally done to improve the levels of representation in this force? Spending a couple of days with a positive action team wouldn't cut it. We wanted to know about what you were personally doing. And I've got some examples of that we've talked about in some of the webinars and one-to-ones. So the same question is one that you could ask if you were going for the rank of inspector. Same question is one that you could ask of your sergeants. If you're a sergeant, it's the same question that you could ask of your constables. And it's not that difficult and it's not that challenging. And what we look at is things like, where do your officers get their refs from? I know where they get the refs from. They get the refs from Greggs, Sainsbury's, meal deal, Tesco's, meal deal. Mackie D's, kebab shop. That's where they get the refs from. But that's not where the diversity is. That's not where the representation we need to attract is. I know where it is, because I've been to these places. It's at community centres all over the country. It's at cultural centres all over the country. It's at places where members of the community are. And so there's a variety of different things that we talk about, just looking at the time now, but if you want to find out more, come and join the webinars. Come and join our world of unconventional and maverick and eccentricity almost. But it's those features that are getting boards on the edge of their chairs and getting exceptional. I'll talk a little bit more about those community centres and those cultural centres. Those are the places we don't go to that much. Those are the places that the positive action teams may go to. Can I share with you? They do awesome food. Awesome, amazing food. What's the age-old way you get to know people? Yeah, over some food. Sharing some food with someone. Asking if you can sit next to them because there's a spare chair. Do you mind if I join you? It's as natural as anything, as opposed to wandering in. And as one of my clients said, I could ask them what they think the problems and priorities are in the area, or what the barriers are to people from this community joining the police. No, those conversations, no, just no. Just simple conversations that we start off with, rapport building. Well, it's a nice recipe, this is good. Where's this recipe from? How did this building come to be? What's your role in the organisation? Sharing something of yourself as well. You've got to build up a rapport. It doesn't happen overnight. And then we look at a variety of different steps that we could utilise that are really simple, really simple, as ways of getting people from the more diverse parts of our community into the police service. So if you want to find out more, come and join the webinars. And actually, I'll put this bold thing out there that if after one of those webinars you think, I'm learning nothing here, or this isn't for me, I'd just like to be stuck in the rut that I'm in and fail the boards in the future and not be called exceptional, then let me know and I'll give you your money back. I want to make sure that you're comfortable with our cadre. But it's a cadre of almost 400 people now, and we're getting results, and we're getting awesome results. How and why? Because we're different. We come up with different ideas, and they're simple. They are back to basics, but basics that we never had. The basics that we should have had. The basics that stem from Sir Robert Peel's vision. So we look at what we do and look to see how it sits within his vision, within his 9 policing principles. And generally they do, especially when it comes to things like community and welfare. Yeah, he talks about community and welfare. Where does he talk about that? Well, look it up. The welfare and existence of the community. Is that part of our role, and how would we deliver on that? So there you go, folks. This is how we deliver exceptional, by delivering the solutions for tomorrow, by not being yesterday's fish and chip paper that's being regurgitated today. Get them on the edge of their seats. Be bold. Come up with ideas. Actually back those ideas around with me and the rest on the webinars, or with me on one-to-one coaching sessions. And it works and it gets exceptional. I've done a lot of these things that we talk about. I've practiced a lot of these things. Can I share with you what I used to have on my appraisals? I'm quite proud of these actually. I've had eccentric, I've had unconventional, I've had maverick, and I've had weird. How about that? But it's getting people exceptional now. 15 years ago, eccentric, maverick, unconventional and weird. Today's exceptional. I don't get it, but it is what it is. I look forward to seeing you soon, folks. I hope this was helpful for you. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye for now.